Welcome back, guys, to another review. This time for um, The Last of Us, season one. Now, this was the greatest video game adaptation that there has ever been thus far. They haven't really done many video game adaptations, have they? They've done Mortal Kombat. They've done which. Mortal Kombat wasn't, at least the newest one, wasn't too bad. I haven't personally watched it, but it was, from what I heard, it was pretty okay. I'm trying to think of any recent. I can't really think of any. I've heard books that have been kind of based in the video game world have been made into movies, but that doesn't count. It's not like, an actual video game that was then adapted into like a show or a movie. But anyhow, I guess you can count Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know, because that was like in 2016 was when they did that movie. At least the last one. Yeah, I mean this is hands down the best so far. I hope that. So my hope is because I don't think they've come out with they definitely haven't come out with any roundabout times or release dates for the God of War adaptation that's coming out on Amazon Prime or the Horizon Zero Dawn / Forbidden West adaptation that's coming on Netflix. They're both gonna be shows to my knowledge. So, those could be really great too, and they could be even better than Last of Us, which I hope they are. I hope they're just as good, if not better. I hope they're better, because we need more of that. But especially for those two franchises, I mean, there could be so much that can be done. And, if they don't take the time, it can go horribly wrong, so I hope that they actually put effort into it. But anyway, yeah. My only gripes about start off with what I thought that they could have done better. I guess the obvious like thing was the lack of infected. A lot of people had a problem with it, and I kind of didn't really have the big of an issue with it, mainly because they actually did the dynamic between Joel and Ellie correct, and the characters that they brought into the show and how they portrayed them was all pretty much great. And they did not deviate too much from the video game itself, which was great, because there was no need. That was probably the biggest one I had. They could have definitely had, like, I guess, more stealth, because the funny part about when the original Last of Us game came out in 2013, and even with the remaster and now the remake, now they're calling it part 1, part 2. There were a lot of stealth portions in the game. Pretty much the whole game, or at least a good portion of the game, you want to do in stealth, because if not, you'll just get overwhelmed by the infected, or by just people in general. They could have had more of that type of deal, more like nail biting, scenes with the infected and the people, and there were times, especially in the finale, there was actually a big I didn't feel the sense of urgency, or the what would be a better phrase, the stakes, like, yes, it's really hard to judge season 1, the show, when you've been such a big fan of the game for a long time. You played the game before you even watched the show, so it's very easy for me to just pick out what I thought they could have done right and whatnot. But just looking at the series as it is, it was great. 10 out of 10, 11 out of 10. So, yeah. That was amazing. Now I don't know how they're going to go forward because they have already confirmed that they're going to do season 2, and there is a part 2. There is a second game, and from my knowledge, that they're going to be trying to do a third game as well. I don't know how it's going to work, but we'll see. There's a lot of controversy surrounding the second game. In my opinion, some of it's justified, some of it's not. Yeah, so for the non-spoiler section of this review, I don't really got too much more to say. That all the acting was great. Yeah, I was their choice in actors I really enjoyed. I hadn't really had too much recollection with a lot of these actors. They're all fairly new to me, so that was pretty awesome. I always like it when a series will big time series or big time movie will do that. Give more spotlight to lesser known, or maybe lesser known to me, but lesser known actors and actresses. Yeah. So if you have not seen the show yet, go ahead and we'll talk spoilers. Yeah, so basically almost all of it was taken straight from the game. There were the character of Kathleen is the first thing that comes to mind. The character of Kathleen, that was not in the game, but I just did not like her in general because there's no fucking way that. I mean, maybe because it is a crazy world we live in, but there's no way that she would be a leader and people would follow her. I mean, it's just the way that she delivers the lines. She sounds like a soccer mom, okay? A sweet soccer mom. There's no way that people would be intimidated by her. I'm just sorry. There's just no way. She's also at least to what I could get from her scenes, very cold and whatnot. You can sometimes follow a person like that depending on the situation, I guess, and how they deliver what they want to say, their statements and whatnot. But yeah, she was way too cold for people to follow her, in my opinion. Cold-hearted, what? Yeah, I didn't really like that aspect. I liked the same episode one, not the infected being ran underground. That was a cool thing that they were infected underground in the game, but there was never that aspect of the story, which is pretty cool. Trying to think back. Episode 3 was amazing. That for me, other than the first episode, was it when we got to see the bloater? I think that was episode 5, right? Other than the first episode and that episode as well, and maybe also the episode with David, episode 3 was probably the best episode of the whole season, and that's saying something because there were very little to no infected in that episode at all, which is crazy to even think about. That a show can get you have preconception going in, and then it just turns it on its head, which is awesome. And it gave us more backstory on a very beloved character within the game as well, so that was awesome. Also played by a great actor, Ron Swanson, ladies and gentlemen. But yeah, I like I said, I did not like the finale only because it was a little short. I feel like they could have made it longer. Not terribly longer. It was 49 minutes, 50 minutes. They could have made it another 10, 20, 30 minutes, something like that, at least in my opinion. I didn't like how they did the hospital scene when Joel snapped. I needed it to feel more high stakes, and when they did, I understand why they did it in a sense because that's what's expected. You know, the tension with the gunfight and with him taking out the guys and whatnot. Because in the game itself, it is a lot more. There is a lot more tension, and there is a lot more like to put it in perspective for you. When the remake is out now, and I'm actually playing it on my channel as well, so you have to check it out. But at least compared to the original game, I think because they were limited by the technology at the time, they still did a great job with the tension within the first game. But when I played the second game, because of the new technology and because of the way that they were able to tell the story in ways that they couldn't before, due to the limitations, like my palms were sweating. The only game I've ever played, which was The Last of Us Part 2, where my palms were literally sweating the whole time while I played this game. If I would have played the remake, like the latest version of Part 1, which is what Season 1 is based off of, my palms would have probably been sweating the whole time because it was that level of tension was magnified due to the the modern updates and whatnot. But yeah, I feel like that them taking the slower aspect kind of nuked the finale a little bit. I feel like they probably should have. I don't know. I mean, it was verbatim from the game, which was good. I mean, it would have been a lot worse if they would have totally did something else altogether. No, I really know how they would have done that, but yeah, overall, I think it was awesome. And if you're one of those haters out there, one of those complainers, and you didn't like season 1 because of this, and this, or you thought it was woke, or whatever you thought, then you better not watch season 2 because it's gonna get a lot worse for you. Season 2 is gonna be pretty. I can already see it now. It's gonna be, oh my god, all the shit online and all the shit I'm gonna hear just in my everyday life about season 2 of the show, which they're saying that season 2 is gonna be based off of part 2 with the second game. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. But yeah, anyway, guys, thank you so much. Yeah, on to the next one.